Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So with everything going on in the USA right now, I felt like this was the right time for me to share these clips. It's raw and uncomfortable for the white folks, but it's necessary. Of late, more and more white folks are not just becoming aware of racial injustices, but actively holding each other accountable. Some are even openly expressing regret for being white, not because of self-hate, but because they recognize the weight of the privilege and damage that comes with that history. And honestly, that kind of awareness is rare these days. So the clips you're about to see speaks for themselves. From a palm color man calling out local news for portraying black people as threats and white people as victims, to a white mother who said that she doesn't feel comfortable for her palm color child to attend a black school. Then this palm color man who has dedicated his entire life to educating his palm color community about the truth about black people, that black people are not dangerous, to palm color people who believe that white people can experience, racism. I mean, it's a tough world out there. It's beginning to feel like it's every race for themselves nowadays. And I say that because of the recent video that went viral of this Shiloh, who has raised almost $1 million for using hate speech on a 5-year-old autistic child. So let's watch these clips that I've collected for you guys. I'm gonna come back at the end of this video to give my own 2 cents. Let's watch this.
There have been studies on this. Local news overrepresents black folks as perpetrators, overrepresents white folks as victims. So the message that gets sent is they're dangerous, and specifically to you. They are not only bad people, they're going to hurt you. So therefore, we want to keep them on that side of town. We want to keep their children in those schools over there. We don't want to work around them. We don't want to live around them, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that message comes through loud and clear in the way that media represents people of color. Whenever we, thinking about Tamir Rice, the 12-year-old child that was shot in Cleveland by police, when that happened, what did they do? The first news story in Cleveland that made a big splash was about Tamir Rice's parents and the history of domestic abuse and criminality among his parents, not about the cop that killed him. We talk worse about black victims than we do white killers. What did we say about Ted Bundy? Oh, he was so smart and he was so quiet and he always seemed so nice. Every time one of these white boys goes into school, what do we say? We had no idea he was going to do this. So we talk better. We have more sympathy for white folks who commit mass murder, bury bodies under the house, cook them up in a soup pot and eat them, right? Than we do black folks who were killed by police. We start digging for every bad thing they ever did. We want to know if they had a juvenile record. We want to know if they'd ever been arrested. That's what the media does. And until that changes, I'm afraid white folks will stay in denial, and it'll be very hard for us to move forward, whether we're talking about cops or just average everyday folks.
I swear to God, I am so sick of white people. After work today, I went to the store and I'm wearing my hoodie that has my school name across the front of it. Minding my own business, I go shopping, I'm standing in line, and there's a white lady with her son. And she looks at my hoodie and she's like, "Oh, do you work at that school?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm a teacher." And she was like, "I would never let my son go there." And I was like, why not? She goes into this whole big rant about how many stories she's heard about it being dangerous and this and that. And she's like, "Do you feel safe teaching there?" And I said, "Yeah, actually, my kids don't fit the profile." And then I just looked at her son, because what the fuck are you talking about? And then she had the audacity to get mad at me, like I said something wrong. I'm sorry, but you started this shit. If you think you're gonna talk shit and I'm not gonna say anything back, you got the wrong one, because you're not coming for me and my kids. Who you need to be worried about is little Timmy over there, who has the notebook with the hit list and the plan and the blueprint of the school and weekends with his dad. Fucking white people.
With everything that's going on, it's going to destroy what little trust there is between white people and non-white people. I have spent my life trying to build a relationship with the black community, and I have several friends that are black, and but it's getting to the point to where our races aren't going to be able to trust one another, and it's going to cause even deeper division. This is why I hate being white. This is why I'm ashamed to be white. I have been speaking out and talking, and I've been trying to show a different side to non-white people, showing them. I find videos that show black people as they are, that show Hispanic people as they are, valid, viable, intelligent people who love their families and who take care of their kids. I've tried to post videos I have found of black people and white people being together and getting along and talking, because I believe it's real. but it's going to get harder to do. There's going to be a lot of mistrust, and I can't blame them. I can't blame non-white people. I don't feel this way about non-white people. This is the part that I hate. This is the part that I'm ashamed of. Because when I meet a black person, the first thing they're going to look at me as is, this guy's white. Is he going to be as dangerous as others? There are a lot of dangerous, idiotic, but dangerous racists out there. And they're going to have to figure out if I'm one of them or not. But at the same time, how can you trust that with everything that's going on? How can you trust that? There are people that tell me that I shouldn't be ashamed. I am very ashamed. I am very ashamed. They're taking back race relations hundreds of years. The South is trying to resegregate. I've been to the South. Tennessee, Georgia, beautiful areas, lots of lush green. There's a lot of non-white people there. And it's going to get to the point to where I just posted a video of ICE separating people, separating families in Nashville. It won't be long that they're going to be coming after you and I because we're speaking out against it. If they don't do something now, if they don't fucking do something now, there's things that are going to happen that they're not going to be able to fix. There's going to be things that happen that they're not going to be able to change. Not all white people want this. I don't want this. I have wanted so desperately for our races to get along. But I can't look at my race and trust them. I can't look at them and rely on them to do what's right. I can't. They're the ones doing things that's wrong. I'm sorry. I really am sorry. There are white people that want more from our relationship than this. I don't need to belittle, desegregate, or destroy anyone of a different skin color so I can feel superior, because that isn't superiority. You better do something, Democrats. You better do something. It's only going to get worse. They're already arresting judges. When is it they're going to start arresting congresspeople, senators, people that we voted to protect us? We should have never let this get this far. We never should have let this get this far. Many of us didn't. I know black women didn't. They stood up for their country. They stood up for us. Of course, then there's Latinos. I love Mr. Trump. Idiot.
I'm currently going back and forth in the comments with someone who wants to insist that white people can experience racism. And if you have been here for any amount of time, you know that I don't believe that to be true. And I do preface that with saying here in the United States, because this is my experience, this is where I live, and I get that there's more than the United States, but I can't be expected to speak for the world. So my stance is that white people cannot experience racism, because with racism there's there's harm, and because the person perpetrating it has the power to oppress. And I've gone over this a million times. In fact, I think I have a video where I say I'm never talking about this again, because call it what you want. It's super, super, super bad and way, way worse than anything that white people can experience. Can white people experience racial discrimination? Absolutely. Can I walk into a primarily black space and be somewhat ignored, shunned, maybe not given good service? Sure. Does that harm me? No. Am I oppressed? No. The history involved with race relations in this country is what has created the dynamic of racism, which, by the way, that dynamic and that history is still we're in the middle of it. We are still here. There is still systemic racism built into the country. Show me the law that says, but shut up. It's built into the systems that we have. And if we don't acknowledge them, we cannot deconstruct them. And so when when you argue with me about, well, I'm white and people have been racist towards me, that is the white supremacy. You need to own everything. I can't even tell you that you can't experience racism without you going, yes, I can. Because I'm telling you, no, you can't. I get frustrated.
Okay, so let's talk about this. After watching those clips, I hope it's clear why I felt this video needed to be made. The message that this palm color at the top continue to send to their own communities about black people being dangerous is outrageous, and it's exhausting. It's 2025, guys. Why are we still here? Why can't y'all just learn to live peacefully and respectfully with everyone? It's like I always say, mostly I say this when I cover such topics like this. I mean, in 2025, white folks should be, focused on mending the damage, mending the harm they've caused and continue to cause that to black communities, especially in the US. We are not asking for anything outrageous, just basic dignity, respect, and the opportunity to thrive without fear. And most importantly, reparations. And let's be honest, black people are some of the kindest, most resilient, most beautiful people on this planet. So me. But somehow, we are still seen as threats. Everywhere you go on this planet, you find all over social media, you find a British black person with a British accent complaining of the same thing, an African person in these Asian countries complaining about the same things. I understand that not everyone is like that, but most black people, they experience this everywhere they go. Still pitted as criminals, still portrayed as the ones to be feared. And what's even wild is in many cases, the very violence that palm color fear, it comes from people, if it's coming from a black person, I'm trying to say this correctly, it's a direct response to centuries of abuse, trauma, and survival. That violence, when it does happen, it's without context. It's born from pain. It's born from generations of being told you are not human, from decades of police brutality, economic defranchisement, redlining, surveillance, and broken system designed to keep black people, black American, boxed in. There's a phrase that breaks my heart every time I hear it. Every time I hear this, it makes me feel some type of a way, fitting the description. This, you already know what that means when it's said. It means you're black, so you're suspicious. No evidence, no real connection, just your skin. That's deeply disturbing. And the fact that this is still a regular part of life for so many black Americans in the US, this is unacceptable. Now, don't get me wrong. Some white folks are trying. They're using their voices to challenge the system, to educate their communities, and to take accountability. And I give credit where credit is due, okay? But we also can't ignore the fact that while some are working towards healing, others are doubling down on ignorance and hate. I mean, have you all noticed the spike in Karens lately? Their numbers seem to have tripled. And the scary part is they're moving with so much boldness, so much authority, like they know the system is on their side, like they've been given a green light to harass and police, black people in every spaces, grocery stores, parks, neighborhoods, like the recent, trending video of Shiloh, the one who, who's making almost $1 million for using hate speech on an autistic child in schools. This entitlement isn't new. It's not just about it's not something that is new. It has been there. their confidence. I don't know what has triggered this. No, I don't, not that I don't know. I know, I just don't want to say it, okay? That's why I believe black people need to have their own, black spaces, shopping malls, spaces where they can feel safe, where they can heal, where they don't have to constantly explain their existence or defend their right to be treated with dignity. They need spaces where they can breathe without being watched, speak without being silenced, exist without fear, not to exclude others, but to protect themselves. Now, let's talk about the phrase that gets thrown around a lot, especially when certain palm color people try to flip the narrative. Black people can be racist too towards white palm color people. Let's address that now. Black people cannot be racist, okay? Let me say that again. Black people cannot be racist again. Let me say that again, and I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this with a napkin in between. To the racist, black people cannot be racist, okay? Because racism isn't just about personal feelings or saying something offensive. Racism is about power. It's about systemic control. It's about having the institutional backing to oppress, deny, and strip people of their rights and opportunities because of their race. Black people do not have the institutional power to inflict that kind of widespread damage on palm color people. We do not control the legal system, the media, narrative, the banks, the schools, or the law enforcement agencies that create and enforce systemic racism. Sure, black folks can be prejudiced. Yes, anybody can hold personal biases, but prejudice is not the same as racism. So when people say black people are racist too, it's really just a deflection, a way to avoid accountability, a way to ignore the centuries of harm and shift the focus away from the real issue. Palm color supremacy and systemic oppression. Okay, and that brings me to the end of this video, by the way. Okay, I really wanted to share these clips because I think it's important for us to see the contrast, those who are trying to make things right and those who are actively working against progress. It's a complicated, painful, and an ongoing fight, but one we have to keep pushing through. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comment section down below. I always appreciate hearing your perspectives, whether you agree or disagree, or just want to share your own experience. This is a space for everyone to talk about this, to discuss this. And as I always say, thank you for watching. I appreciate you watching this video up to this end. Please remember to subscribe so that you do not have to miss out any of the videos that I upload. By the way, this is a raw reaction to this, unedited, so if I've made any mistakes, please, I'm open for corrections. Okay, yeah, I will definitely see in my next video. Please stay peaceful.